Holly Bristow joins us. She is live along the Atlantic coastline, Satellite Beach, Florida. And Holly, what is it like there now?
I can tell you it's gotten a lot uglier just since you guys went to commercial break. It's getting extremely windy out here to the point that it's becoming a little bit of a challenge to stand. I just saw my photographer kind of bear down and hold on to his camera after a big gust we just got a minute ago. You may be able to see over in the distance, there's a sailboat that's actually slammed against the rocks probably within the last 20 minutes. It had been out in the middle of the intercoastal. It looked like somebody haphazardly put it out there with just an anchor on the front of it, and looked like the anchor broke loose, and it's now slammed up against the seawall behind me. We're on the intercoastal, but if you take a look at the water, you would think that we're actually on the ocean. We've got white caps out here in an area that's typically great for boating. I actually grew up in this area, and this is a place that I grew up wakeboarding and water skiing, so this is not the type of water climate that we're used to seeing around here at all. At times, it's hard to tell whether the water is coming in off of the intercoastal or if it's raining. Right now, we've got a good combination of both, and it's coming down pretty. Whoa, there goes another big gust.
Yeah, I feel for you having been in hurricanes
up and down a little
before.
bit. My photographer's having a hard time holding on to it. I can actually lean back into the wind, and it's actually helping me stand up straight over here. About 5 minutes ago, we saw a big flash in the distance, a blue flash. It wasn't lightning. It was another power transformer blowing. We've seen a couple of those go throughout the night across the river beachside. The weather just seems to be getting worse and worse as time goes on. The interesting thing here is we were over in Satellite Beach, actually on the beach around 6 o'clock tonight. I was talking to a police officer who was telling me that they're guesstimating that only about a third of the people who live beachside who were under mandatory evacuations decided to listen to the warning and take off and evacuate. The rest of the people are inside their homes trying to ride out the storm. And I'll tell you, we drove through there earlier, and I would say it's probably only about 1 in 5 houses that actually put up any kind of hurricane shutters, and it didn't look like most of them had the special glass that's hurricane proof. So it'll be interesting to see what things look like beachside once this storm calms down tomorrow.
Holly, it must feel like you're getting absolutely pelted with some pretty hard-hitting rain. And having done it before myself, I know it's a little bit painful to endure that sort of thing. Can you just describe what it's like to be out in the middle of a hurricane?
You know, it's kind of a bizarre feeling. It's almost surreal. Standing here, I've had this rain jacket on all night. I'm about to switch to another one before we continue on in the night. The rain jacket's kind of stuck to my back, so I can actually feel the rain pelting me in the back, and it is getting pretty strong. If you can widen out the shot a little bit, you'll see that I'm standing sideways with my feet spread apart, just to kind of make sure that I've got my bearing, and anytime I sort of put my feet together and if I stand up on my toes, you lose your balance real quick. So you've really got to pay attention to what's going on here, or you can easily get blown around pretty quickly. If it gets much worse out here, we're going to head a little bit further west, because being right on the water, you're definitely getting a lot more wind, and it makes it harder to really stand up straight, and we're keeping an eye out for things blowing around just to make sure that we're not going to get hit with anything.
Yeah, it's the flying debris that can be really dangerous. Do you have electricity there? It looks like the lights are on behind you.
Surprisingly, they do still have electricity here, but I'll tell you, as I look behind me, Merritt Island is behind me, and then Satellite Beach is off in the distance. And it looks like Merritt Island, which is an island in the middle of the river, has lost their power, because I don't see any lights on over there. And typically you see a bit more lights on in the distance over at the beach, so I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the beach had lost power by now.
All right, Holly Bristow.
Over here at the mainland, we're actually next to the public library.
Holly Bristow, you're doing a great job.
And power, and all the street lights are still on here.
Thank you very much. Take shelter, stay safe. We'll check back with you. Thanks very much. She's in Satellite Beach, which is